Used car prices are insane right now, and a lot of people are looking at high mileage vehicles to try to save some money. But is this a smart purchase? I've been inspecting and repairing high mileage cars for over 35 years. I can tell you this, not all high mileage cars are junk. In fact, some are much better maintained than cars with half the miles. The real key is just knowing what to look for, what to avoid, and what you're really buying. In this video, I'll break down how to evaluate a high mileage car like a pro. The red flags, the green lights, and what systems really matter most at 150K, 200K, even 250K miles. You're thinking about buying a car with 6 digits on the odometer. Watch this first. All right, so you're considering buying a high mileage vehicle. You're going to save some money. You found a car you like, but the question is it worth buying? Now, this is a question I get from a lot of clients, and I can tell you there are some factors that go into that. And two of the most important factors for me are the history of the vehicle and the dependability history of the vehicle. So when I'm talking about history of the vehicle, I want to talk about who owned the car, how do they drive it, how do they maintain it, do they have maintenance records, all those things. And then I'm talking about the dependability of the vehicle. So we want to see, is it a Lexus or a Toyota product, a Honda product, or is it I hate for you guys if you're driving these cars, but is it a Hyundai product, a Chrysler product, something that's known to break down and have mechanical issues? Those are two things that I'm really going to be most focused on if I'm buying a high mileage vehicle. I want to make sure that I'm buying a product that has a history of dependability and a history of working well with a lot of miles. Now you guys can do your research and you can figure out what those cars are. I've given you a couple of options there, but if you're buying a car that you know has got a history of problems and malfunctions, well, high mileage is not going to be any better than low mileage, and just steer clear from those cars altogether. So that's one of the most important factors there. Just make sure you're picking the correct car. When we see cars that come in here routinely, I've got Lexus and Toyota products come in all the time. They got 300,000 miles on them, and they're rolling along just like a new car. Everything looks great on them. So mileage by itself doesn't tell the whole picture. It's really more about how well was it maintained. I want to give you a little example here of something that we see from time to time. Now I've got behind me this Toyota Corolla. It's 23 years old. It's got 115,000 miles on it. People say, well, that's really low mileage for an older car. It's got to be in great shape. Now I can tell you recently here we recorded a video on that and how to perform a compression test. During our compression test, we determined that this car with only 115,000 miles, specifically this Toyota with only 115,000 miles, has got a lot of ring wear on it. So not something we normally see. And the question is, well, why is that? Well, we have a history of that car that we need to address, right? How often did the client maintain the car with the amount of miles, the low mileage on it? Probably had a lot of starts and stops, not a lot of warm-up cycles on it, or not a lot of freeway miles on it. So there are certain types of mileage that are much better for your car than others, right? Everybody knows freeway miles, highway miles are really easy on the car. The car is driving along on a nice road, a freeway, 2,000 RPM, plenty of airflow through the car, not a lot of braking or accelerating. These are kind of conditions that are easy on cars. They can go for 1,000,000 miles like that. The type of wear that you incur on a car on freeway is so much different than you do in stop and go driving, a lot of cold starts, those types of things. So when I'm looking at this car behind me that's got some ring wear on it, we already know that it's not getting a lot of highway miles on it, and it may have a lot of those harder conditions, operating conditions, through its life cycle, right? So we see a car that I would consider maybe high mileage because it's got over 100,000 miles, but maybe not 250,000 miles, right? But still not in the greatest of condition. So that's going to lead me into my next point. If you're going to buy a car that has high mileage on it, it's not going to be unlike any other car. You want to make sure you do a proper inspection on it. Now, I've already done a video, it's in my library here, on how to inspect a used vehicle before you purchase it. So if you want to watch that video, I don't want to walk through all the items that we need to inspect. There's a lot of stuff. But obviously there are some things that are going to play into consideration when you're looking at a high mileage vehicle. And one of them is just the overall condition of the car. When I look at the hood of this car, there's no paint left on it, right? So that just tells me the customer hasn't been maintaining the exterior. I look at the inside, doesn't look great. The customer hasn't been maintaining the interior. And that tells me one more thing. Chances are they didn't maintain the mechanical portions of it that great either, right? So people that maintain their interiors and exteriors usually do a really good job of maintaining the entire car. not just the looks of it. So I can just tell you from experience and the types of clients that I have and the type of people that I see with their cars, people that really love their car, not only they keep the inside clean, they keep the outside clean, they take care of things that break when they break, and they also do the maintenance that's required to give their car the longest life because they know what it means to the longevity of the car. So when I'm looking at a high mileage car, I'm looking at those things. I want to know what kind of maintenance does the customer do to the car? How do they care about it, right? Another thing you want to look at is how many owners are in the car, right? So maybe the person you bought it from takes good care of the car, but it's on its 5th owner now. How do we know about the other 4 owners? So when I'm looking at a high mileage car to purchase, I really want to know the entire history of it from beginning to end. Now, there's ways to figure that out. You can look the vehicle up through its vehicle identification number in a service like Carfax. Pay a couple of bucks, they'll give you the history on the car. It'll usually tell you if there's some ownership changes along the way. Those are the types of things I look at because it's not just the one owner, of course, it's the many owners over the life of the car. We want to get a feel for that. And then also talking to the owner of the car, if you're looking to buy this car, you can generally get an idea by asking some questions about the maintenance of the car. What have they done to it? When was the last time they put tires on it? Those types of things, it's going to give you an indication how well they maintain the car. If they can't answer any of those questions, if they don't have any receipts, if they can't provide you with any documentation that they've been maintaining it, or at least in their mind they should have a history of what they spent on the car, well, that's probably a couple of red flags for you and say, you know what, these people don't really care about maintenance on the car. Maybe something to steer away from. As with any used vehicle, the high mileage vehicle doesn't change much in my process what I'm looking for in a car. So I have a pretty routine system for inspecting a vehicle, especially if it's one somebody wants to purchase. There are a ton of components that I'm going to go through and look at, but some of the things that you're going to notice on a high mileage vehicle are probably a higher propensity for oil leaks, coolant leaks, any kind of leaks under the car. It's just the nature and the natural progression of age that generally causes those leaks. So, you know, if you're buying a car with 200,000 miles, it may not even be that old. You know, maybe this car was used for commuting back and forth from city to city, and the car is only 3 years old. It's got a couple 100,000 miles on it. Well, that in itself lends itself well to something that you might want to buy because it might be very clean, very well maintained, lots of services on it, and probably a less likelihood that you're going to find some leaks under there versus a car that's got 200,000 miles and is 30 years old. Okay, so age has a big factor in some of these problems that we see when we inspect a car. It's not just mileage. A lot of things we're going to see too based on age and mileage are things like wear in bushings, wear in suspension components. Tires probably have been done many times over and again, so it's not something I would be too focused on. Transmission wear is another big one because a transmission is a costly repair or replacement, just like an engine is. So we want to make sure the integrity of those things is good. Now, I mentioned earlier in this video about a compression test. If you're going to buy something high mileage, sure would be a great thing to do if you didn't mind investing the money in it. But chances are you're probably trying to save some money. This is why you're buying a high mileage vehicle in the first place. So if you can stomach the cost of having that done, that certainly helps give you some peace of mind. But just a general inspection under the hood, the condition of the oils, the condition of the fluids, all those things goes a long way. Any seasoned technician should be able to give you an overall evaluation of how well a car was maintained based on an inspection that they perform. So please don't buy anything high mileage. Don't buy any car if you can avoid it without taking it to a professional and having them evaluate it for you. There's a professional eyes and a lot of experience can tell some things that you won't be able to find on your own as an amateur or do-it-yourselfer. So it's a worthwhile investment. I always recommend to my clients, if you're going to buy a used vehicle, whether it's high mileage or not, bring it into me. Let me charge you to inspect this vehicle and give you my insight and my knowledge and experience before you get tied up in a car that you've got a big problem with or something that could have been avoided or negated just through an inspection. Additionally, another just point on that, the inspection will pay for itself. When you bring a car in for an inspection, almost always we find something on there that needs some attention on it, and then you can use that as negotiating leverage to get a lower price on the car, possibly. So just a couple of tidbits for you there. In my opinion, high mileage cars can offer great value. They can be a great bargain. Just follow these simple tips. You know, in the beginning of the video, I think I kind of summed up the ideas that the ownership and the history of the vehicle and the type of vehicles and its dependability record over long terms are the most important things when you're buying a high mileage vehicle. Make sure you study all that stuff. You can check consumer reports and all those things in addition to your Carfax, and just see if there are common problems. Of course, if you talk to your local auto repair technician, whoever's inspecting a car for you, they're going to be able to tell you if there's problems with that particular car. I know we work on a lot of Nissan products, and they all seem to have a bad CVT transmission, so I always get people coming into me, should I buy this car? It's got 100,000 miles on it. And I look at it right away and I say, well, it's a Nissan Versa. It's probably going to need a transmission here any day. It's going to be a $3,500, $4,000 repair, whatever it is. And, right away, that's kind of like, okay, well, I don't want to do that because I'm not buying this used car and planning to put another few $1,000s into it right away. That, like I said, that inspection with your technician kind of goes a long way, but you've got to do your own research as well. So just make sure you're following up on all those things. I say if the car looks really clean, it's got a lot of great maintenance records on it, it's got one owner, it's not a teenager that's running around beating on it all day, it's certainly worth a look, and I would take a closer look through that full inspection process. Good luck in your used car shopping. I hope this information is a little bit helpful for you. Make sure you check out some of our other content here. We got another great video coming for you. Like, subscribe, all those good things. We'll see you in the next one.